Hi everyone, Cindy here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I just wanted to check in, see how you guys are. Thanks for all your comments below. And I'm definitely going to address some of those today. Excuse me. It's a beautiful sunny day, so I like to sit outside during those times and just take in the beautiful nature. And so I wanted to dive right in. We had two amazing people that we presented today on our series, and one was Lisa Shield and another one is Maya Diamond. Both amazing women and both really great for different reasons in this field. So one of the things that Lisa and I addressed was, when you're single and it's love month, right? It can be challenging, or you're in a place where you feel like you're in a gray area when it comes to dating and relating, right? Or in being in a relationship. So there's that murky area, I call it, and we talk about some really good ways to just. I highly recommend listening to that talk, because we talk about some great ways to really just look within and know that regardless, you are amazing and the right person's going to love you for everything about you. And I really mean that. And there's ways to, shift your thinking around that. So it's not this like shrinking in feeling. Hey, so where you're feeling like it's got to be all or nothing, or, there's a real expansiveness that can happen, and you can own your own confidence in every area of your life, and it really will affect every area of your life. So I definitely recommend that. I mean, I've had clients that have worked with me, no kidding, that have started their own businesses, now making triple what they were making before, gotten big time promotions. I mean, it's not an accident when you start investing in yourself and really taking a look at, doing the personal development work, right? And looking at what those things are that might be standing in the way of your real true success in this area. And really, if you look at it, it can be, sorry, I see a lizard. It can be in every area of your life. So there's usually a thread. It's like a golden thread that goes through. And I was just thinking about this morning. I like to research, and I like to research about, the habits of successful people. And a book that it would be really good for any one of you guys to read, I'm actually reading it right now. It's called The Power of Habit. And there is a thread with, successful people become successful for many different reasons, but they have a commonality. And part of that is they make decisions, and they make them in alignment with what their higher being and purpose. And they make decisions, they make them fast, and they make them right. And they're not always right. And they just move forward, and they figure out how they're going to do something. So they do it like on a gut level. So a lot of times in dating and relationships, it's, we've got this sixth sense, right? We've got this intuition that is there, and perhaps we want to see something different. Why? Because you're attracted, or there's chemistry there, and it's it's easy to turn a blind eye to those things. Or if someone isn't really putting in the action or showing up, and, or you don't know where you stand in a relationship, or you don't even know if you're committed. So a couple things I'll say about that. If you're dating and you're not committed, I recommend dating multiple people and getting to know multiple people, and really just looking at it as being expansive, opening up to friendships, new opportunities, and really seeing, you're going to see me repeat this a lot, seeing, what's the best thing that I can take away from this, right? And then, also to learn how to manage your headspace around that. I'm sorry, I'm seeing the sun, so I hope this isn't annoying, but somebody made a comment earlier and had a question around, how do I manage my head and keep my emotions in check? And this is a lot of what this series is about, is really tools on how to manage your headspace. So we'll get to that deeper in a second. One of the things that Maya and I did in our conversation is she talked about a process where she uncovers patterns, and I do the same thing. I do it a little bit differently, but I thought it was really interesting the way that she reverse engineered it. And so you can look at your relationships and look at, what, like even your past 2 or 3 or 4, and was there a common golden thread? Was there an unavailability there? And maybe that's hard to see. So sometimes it's really easy. It's much easier for other people or an expert to see your blind spots in that area, because what you perceive as unavailable may not be, or you perceive as not emotionally unavailable, you know what I'm saying, right? May actually be unavailable to a degree. So, or vice versa. And at any rate, the managing your headspace, women, as far as dating and relationships, in a relationship, our number one thing we want and we need is to feel secure with our man. And not secure that he's got, a ton of money in the bank account. Yes, that's nice, right? If that's what you're seeking, someone that maybe shares a similar success level as you, but icing on the cake. But no, someone that makes you feel secure, at ease, like you know where you stand when it comes to your relationship. And all of that stems around communication and how you communicate with yourself. So the best way to manage your headspace is, take a few deep breaths and really look at what is. So start with looking at, looking at and I'll, you guys can feel free to post questions, by the way. I'm just going to give you a couple of tools right now, and I'll be happy to answer anything. So you look at a fact, right? What's the fact? The fact is, I'm dating someone that I really care about. I'm just going to put out a situation, bring out a situation for you. And I see him as a prospective long-term partner, possibly marriage material. Great. Okay. So what am I telling myself about this? So what is the stories I'm possibly creating? I feel uneasy because he has a lot of female friends, and I just, I'm not 100% sure where we stand. And I feel insecure a little bit about that. Right? Or, and I just, and I don't always know what he's doing when when we're not together. Okay. And I'm not sure of the status of our relationship. So some of those could be stories, right? Some of those could be facts. Okay. But I look at more of the stories. I feel uneasy. I don't know what's really happening. So then let's look at the other fact. Let's just say that he always shows up when he says he's going to show up. He always calls when he says he's going to call. He does, when you're together, he makes you feel really special. But when you're apart, you feel uneasy. Now that's something to take a look at too, because there's something there. And I definitely, recommend, so what is that trigger? So asking yourself, getting really curious, what's happening for me? Is it the fact that, I had a boyfriend cheat on me and I felt really abandoned in that situation, or I've cheated, so I don't necessarily trust myself fully. I mean, none of us are perfect, right? And by the way, I've had both I've done that, and I've had that happen to me, and it came out of a very insecure place within myself. And wasn't, I'm not proud of that, but I can tell you that I've been through it, and I know how it feels. I know how the shoe feels on both sides, and it's, and I think the biggest thing to understand around this kind of stuff is, where does it come from? And then communication. If you're unclear about where you stand in a relationship or in a dating, when you're dating someone that you like, he seems to really like you, and I would get clarity. I would simply just ask the question, hey, I'm really enjoying, I always have so much fun when we're together, and I just wanted to ask you, I'm in a space where I'm looking for a long-term committed relationship, something that leads, towards something more permanent, such as marriage. And I just came to realize that I don't know if we're on the same page around that. And hi, Fiona, I'm answering your question, by the way. And so a lot of this is around, and I'll go back to it, is getting clarity and communication. So triggers come from uncertainty, and they also come from things that they're a mirror to us, maybe in ways that we haven't always trusted ourselves. So if you get clarity, just say, I don't know if you're on the same page as me. And, if not, that's completely fine. No hard feelings. I really enjoy your company. I just, we can part ways, be friends, it's your call. But I'm looking for something that's a little more real. So you've got to set boundaries so that he knows you value yourself and you're serious if you know what it is you want. If you're in a place of uncertainty, right? I get bored. Okay, I'm listening. Or I don't want to bother going out with someone who doesn't match what I agree. Yeah. So this is a really good question. I get bored, or I don't want to bother going out with somebody who doesn't match what I ultimately want or think I want. So the number one thing there is to get really clear on what it is you want. And we're going to talk about that anyway. You and I are, Kristen. But, and it's hard to tell by a profile, especially with men. And I mean this with absolute love. A lot of them don't fill them out completely. Or if they do, it's really hard to tell. And I believe it's also hard to tell on a first, second, maybe third, after a third date you can. And it's all about asking the right questions too. So if you're bored, that's also an intimacy thing. Like, that's also you needing to connect. And I know you do a lot of spiritual work and everything, and even if you do, it's like slow down and get intimate. Be in the present moment and think about what you can take away. I mean, if this guy is boring you to death and there's absolutely no chemistry in the conversation, then, and I don't want to say, sometimes that can take time to grow, but if there's absolutely no similarities and you feel like there's a total misalignment, if you know for certain, then no, don't move forward. But if there's like, he seems like a nice person. I don't know that he's for me, but I'll open up to the possibility of him potentially being that person. And remember too, men are nervous. They get intimidated by us. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's a conversation and a boundary. So you don't want to have. So Kristen's bringing up a situation where there was someone that she was dating, and they were dating fairly casually, and there wasn't a real communication around the nature, what the relationship was. So there was, and I'm just going to share this. There was, and this is a safe space. There's intimacy involved, and as women with intimacy, we get bonded, and so that just comes down to communicating and not going that distance without having a firm conversation around commitment. Look, I don't do that unless I'm in a committed relationship. And if you've done it in the past with that person, you can just say, you know what? Clearly, I'm really attracted to you and I really enjoy our time together. And I'm at a point to where intimacy is very sacred to me. And I only want to share that with someone that I'm in a committed relationship with. I hope you understand. And, I still love, spending time with you, and great. That's, if you're good with that, I'd love to continue dating. And if they're not on the same page, right? If he's not looking for a long-term committed relationship, he's just looking to have fun, and that's out of alignment, then that would be something you want to visit, because you could put him in your rotation to spend some time with and have a few laughs. But if it's going to tempt you, like going to Temptation Island because you've already gone there, then that's something to consider too, because that can oftentimes serve as a block from opening up to what's possible, what could be right literally in your backyard. I hope that's helpful. But does anyone else have any other questions today? I really, I know how confusing this stuff can be, and how, it's like, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to say this? One of the things that I will tell you, and I will leave you guys with this today, is you can say anything to a man. It's just how you say it. And if you're coming from a place of calm and certainty and confidence within your voice and even compassion, then they'll want to listen to you. And you also want to listen to them and not be upset or offended if they're in a different spot than you. It's like, oh, wow, this person came into my life for a reason, and what a blessing because of X, I really got to experience certain things. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. And I hope it was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please feel free. I don't really see anything else, but let me look. Let me just look and see. If you have anything else that pops up or you want me to answer, just post below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything that I can cover around this stuff for you guys, because I really want to see you get, in those kind of partnerships that you really desire and frankly you're so worthy of. Each and every one of you. Or, if you're in a partnership right now and it's just, it's in a place where you don't know quite where to go next, post below. I'm always happy to help. And if I need to hop on a call with you, I can help you kind of really narrow it out and set things straight for you pretty quickly. So at any rate, sending lots of love. Mwah. And have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. It looks like I will be on here bright and early, at least for me in California, around 9 a.m. Pacific, which is 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon, high noon Eastern. So I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.